Hello, my name is Rachel Aries, and I am presenting today on the LSIS Research Capstone Project. It's for the Research Methods class for the Masters of Library Science for the School of Library and Information Sciences at North Carolina Central University. So this project is titled Libraries and Social Capital, A Community Perspective. And first, I want to thank you for being here. I appreciate your time and attention. So let's begin. We are discussing how libraries act as public spheres of influence and core providers of social capital for individuals and communities through the lens of library and information science studies. So libraries act as third spaces, combating loneliness and increasing community and forming social capital. So what I mean by third spaces is libraries are almost a home away from home for a lot of individuals. There is an epidemic of loneliness, and they don't have a lot of places to go. They don't have many people to interact with. Or in the case of disadvantaged individuals, people that are experiencing homelessness, it's an important space where they can spend time and get outside, get out of the weather, any inclement weather or adverse situation they might be experiencing. So the research questions posed by this study are: what is social capital, and in what ways does the library uphold it? What is a library's role in the community contingent on social capital? So really what that perception looks like from a user perspective. The theme of libraries as community institutions promoting social learning, trusted inclusion, activism, and education is synthesized as framed by social capital theory within this research study. Now, the first graphic that you see is libraries as cyclical community social capital purveyors. So you can see the integration of the role of libraries in a community and the many things that a library provides. So to touch briefly on this, libraries provide entertainment and leisure activities. So this is local art and collaborations, movies, music, computers or laptops, and mobile hotspots. There's also educational needs. So libraries assist with research, resume help, databases, DIY, and self-improvement. So any books or materials there that might be available either in person or online. There's also preservation. So local libraries often work in connection with historical societies, and so they preserve and promote historical information of the community that they're a part of. And there's also social integration. So social integration really is the one that we'll be focusing the most on. Libraries assist with this through the use of interesting programming, job fairs, social services such as finding housing for individuals at the end of the day, or transportation, bus schedules, and tax information, as well as political discourse and activism. Now, the research methodology used for this study was a literature-based research review. And this found that a majority research was conducted via survey or online questionnaires supplied to research participants, ranking predetermined units of value according to their perception. My approach for research methodology would align with this ethnographic method. So ethnography is a study that seeks to identify the underlying structure and beliefs of a common cultural experience, and that definitely applies in this instance. Now, one interesting thing to note, there was a study by Kawamoto and Koizumi, and it used an inductive dominant approach, so kind of a bottom-up approach with scholarly articles instead of participants, targeting specific words within these articles for qualitative content analysis. This phenomenological study targeted library users as signifiers of wisdom, heritage, and community, and generalized findings across the social strategy of a locality. And the graph that you see there shows the interconnectedness of that study and how the flow of social capital really is tied to organizational institutions through networks with the flow of social resources they provide, the ways that impacts individuals within a community, and thereby increasing the flow of human capital and increasing the value of an institution or organization. Now, the results of this study showed emergent patterns, and subsequent content analysis found that social capital is perceived value within a library. So it's the perceived value of the library within its sphere, within community, and the individual integration within that space, both culturally and socially. The library fosters this through collaborative spaces, education, and access to information, as well as trusted support. And what we mean by trusted support is things we touched briefly on with the role of libraries in the community. So resume support, technological assistance. I do work in a public library. I've had people bring me their cell phones and have them help them with uploading or sending documentation. And there's also civic activity. So libraries are spaces where you can go and partake in early voting. You can campaign within a certain number of feet for your political candidate of choice, and you can hold meetings there in support of your personal beliefs. So libraries are seen as democratic spheres supporting intellectual freedom, knowledge, and cultural expression by providing information to citizens and mobilizing public opinion. So the information that libraries convey, the ways they support the community, mobilizes public opinion and galvanizes individuals into further action, thereby increasing the value of the library itself. The conclusion here is libraries exist in the public sphere, forming opinion, civic engagement, and strengthening the local economy. So there's a very interesting correlation between the strength of a local economy and the civic engagement as promoted by the library. Towns that have stronger economies have a greater level of civic engagement, and libraries are a key part of that. Libraries have opportunities to further develop the social capital of their community by targeting census data and developing events tailored to the needs of their users. So further research opportunities exist for local libraries in the digital sphere. Ways they can continue these opportunities and develop them further is by attempting to reach patrons in their community that might have limited mobility and special groups of differentiated ages. So taking programming out into the community, outreach events, going into schools, to universities, and really promoting library value there. Now, the next section is our references, and that is also shown on the next slide in greater detail. For further reading, if you wanted to do additional research, you would be able to read Libraries, Human Rights and Social Justice, Enabling Access and Promoting Inclusion. It is by Paul T. Jagger and Natalie Green Taylor and Ursula Gorham. And that is everything that I had today. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time and attention, and I wish you well.